Hello everyone watching and welcome back to my Eurovision channel. I'm Terry and this video is my first of the 2023 Eurovision season. So of course we've just had the 2022 season, and apologies for not fully keeping up with everything towards the end there. Just general life busyness got in the way, but I'm starting the 2023 season early because we're already starting to get little bits of information from different countries. And in this video I'm just going to be talking about 10 things that I am hoping to see for the 2023 Eurovision. Just sort of some of my personal opinions and hopes and wishes. So it'll be interesting to see this time next year which ones of these happened and which ones didn't. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, please click the like button and subscribe. But without further ado, let's begin the video. Okay, so I didn't really put too much thought into these 10 things. They were just things that sort of just came to me quite naturally and easy. So yeah, the first thing that I thought of that I'd like to see would be as many countries as possible entering. Of course, we had 40 countries taking part in, well, this year, 2022, and I think the most was 43. Obviously, for obvious reasons, I know that probably won't be seeing an increase on the numbers from this year. Obviously, Russia and Belarus are no longer eligible to take part because they're no longer part of the EBU. And there's other countries like Bosnia who want to come back but for monetary reasons can't do. And Hungary and Turkey, obviously politically, are probably not going to be returning anytime soon. And there's lots of other micro states like Monaco who said they might be coming back, but I think that's probably not going to happen next year. Andorra, we keep on hearing little things about these countries, but I'm not sure whether they will be coming back. But in an ideal world, I'd like to see as many countries as possible take part, because it's always fun to have, more songs, and it's all more entertainment and everything like that. But yeah, probably not going to be expecting to see a big increase on numbers from this year, but that's just one of the things I'd like to see for next year and the coming years as well. Number two on my list of things that I'd like to see for Eurovision next year is to see more countries singing in their own national language. Now, what I think we've noticed over the past 2 years in particular is countries singing in their own national language sort of doing perhaps even better than the songs sung in English. Obviously, the last two winners this year with Ukraine and last year with Italy were both sung in their native language, and a lot of the top five was also sung in national languages. Last year we had Italy, we had France, Switzerland, and Ukraine. There. And then this year we've had Ukraine again, UK, well, of course national language is English, Spain, and we add in fifth Serbia. So yeah, I think I'm always a sort of opinion that people should be able to sing in any language they want to. I wouldn't want to see the national language rule brought back, but I think it's very good to see more countries singing in their national languages, because I think it gives the song a bit more of an authentic feel to it. It just feels very much, representative of the country's sort of history and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'd like to see more countries in the national languages next year. Number three on my list, and this one is a little one that's a little bit more personal to me, is because I am from the UK and the UK obviously did very well this year, is that I'd like to see the UK continue that on to next year and future years, and not sort of fall back and go back to previous old results. And also, as an extension of this, I'd also like to put Spain into that category, because Spain are similar to UK, one of the big five that has been struggling a lot over recent years, and they've also this year got a great result with Chanel coming third. So going forward, I'd like to see both the UK and Spain continue this, capitalising the great success that they have had, and continue this forward. And I do have good optimism that will happen. Spain looks like they're continuing with the Benidorm Fest competition, which I think will continue to grow hopefully and get stronger caliber of artists and songs. taking part. And in the UK, I think with Sam Ryder having such a great mainstream success, in the charts, singing at the Platinum Jubilee for the Queen. And I think people are starting to see the big prospects and benefits of taking part in Eurovision in the UK. So I do feel optimistic that there will be lots more people, sort of singer songwriters, undiscovered talent wanting to take part for the BBC and the UK. And I also feel that the BBC are now realizing the benefits and the importance of doing well at Eurovision, and I feel they're taking it all a lot more seriously too. So yeah, my third thing on my list would be the UK and Spain to continue doing well in the next year in particular, and or in the future going forward. Number 4 on my list, and this is a little bit linked into what I've just said about UK and Spain, but more a hope for a country that has been underperforming or not doing very well recently to get back towards the top of the table, and that is Germany. Germany are the only one of the big five not to have made the top three in the last 2 years. Last year we had Italy and France there, and then this year we've got UK and Spain. So Germany, although they did come fourth in 2018, other than that they've been pretty much at the bottom or near the bottom every year since 2013. So I'm really hoping that they can find the formula to get a great result next year, and to sort of bring themselves out of the bottom placings of the table, and also that wish extends to many of the other countries that have struggled to qualify for the final in recent years. It would be great if as many of those countries can qualify. So just thinking off the top of my head, countries like Ireland, Croatia, Montenegro, Latvia. So yeah, and I'm sure there's some others that I'm not thinking of at the moment. But yeah, open for Germany in particular, and for other countries that have not had the best recent success to enter a strong song and do as well as they possibly can do. Number 5 that I've got on my list is to see the continued, or see the current uh, phenomenon. I suppose that's not the word I mean, but it's the one I can think of. But we're seeing more and more sort of singer-songwriters take part in Eurovision, and I'd really like to see that continue, because I feel with that happening, we're getting more songs that are authentic to the artist, and I think that they put on a better show when presenting the songs and performing them, and I feel it just makes the whole feel of the contest feel a bit more authentic, rather than just having a song that, there was a time where I think a lot of the songs were written specifically to try to go to Eurovision and then just given to anybody to sing, and they maybe didn't have that emotional connection with the song, which I'm feeling now is definitely more present. People are definitely got that emotional connection with the song, and I think that conveys itself to people watching, and I feel that they therefore have a higher opinion of Eurovision, or it's no longer seen as something that's a bit cheesy or throwaway. And I think that's helping with the worldwide perception of the show and increasing its popularity all the time. So yeah, I'd just like to see that the current trend of singer-songwriters taking part continued into next year and the future. So number 6 on my list is I would like to see continuing getting these sort of fun, catchy, up-tempo songs. So some ways people might think this is a bit of a contradiction to what I have just said at number 5. But I think it's important that we still have songs that people can just listen to and dance to and have fun to and just enjoy. And don't have to be the most serious songs, or the most about the most important topics. I'm thinking about Moldova. It was great to see that showing the cultural heritage of Moldova in the song. And then also you've got things like Norway. I think, it's always important to have something a bit fun, a bit catchy, something that everyone can enjoy. And, it doesn't have to be the most groundbreaking either. So I think it's finding the right balance between, my last point and this one. But yeah, I'd like to see more countries going for, well, not more countries. I like to see some countries continue to do that, and I think I'd like to see the juries respect that a little bit more. I think when countries go for something a bit more fun, I think juries maybe sometimes don't always give it the respect or the points that they deserve, and it's always sort of left to the telephone to try and bring that score up. Thinking of Moldova this year, Norway in 2019, for example. So yeah, that's just my number 6 on the 10 things I'd like to see for Eurovision 2023. Okay, number 7 on my list of things that I'd like to see for next year is creative hosting. And when I say this, I think about the staging plans that Italy had for the stage this year, in particular the Sun apart. And when that was all revealed and released and what they was going to do, I thought that was very interesting and could look quite effective on stage and make it quite different from what we've had in recent years. And also they talk about the green room being like a garden sort of thing. I thought that all sounded quite interesting. I thought this could actually stand out and be a bit different from recent years where it's all been a little bit sort of too similar and with not much difference between them. Of course, in the end, it didn't really work. Obviously, we know about the issues with the staging and the sun and where it couldn't function properly. So a lot of the country staging had to be changed and wasn't presented in the way they wanted it to be. And I think the green room didn't really look that much different or as different as I was expecting it to be based on what they were saying they were trying to create. But I feel that these problems shouldn't stop whoever is hosting next year. And of course, we don't know at the moment where it's going to be. But I hope that those things don't stop them from maybe thinking outside the box a little bit with their plans for hosting or staging or what the stage looks like. I hope we do get something that is interesting to look at visually, and it's perhaps not something that you would ordinarily see at Eurovision. So yeah, that is just something that I'm hoping to see next year, is a bit of creative hosting in terms of sort of staging, green room, and all that sort of thing. Moving on to number 8, and for this one is in respect to the juries and just sort of the general makeup of the juries and the control and how they're voting and all that sort of thing. So obviously this year we had the issue with the juries of 6 countries having their semi-final 2 results disqualified and also their final results not taken into account due to the accusations of collusion or corruption or whatever you want to call it there. So I think for next year, obviously, I'd like to see some way for those sort of things to try to be stamped out. I don't really know how possible it is to sort of guarantee that nothing like that is going to happen. But I hope that we don't hear similar accusations next year. And also in terms of the juries, I feel like I've always said this, 5 members in the jury doesn't seem like enough for me. I feel like that's too easy to try and corrupt them. So I'd like to see that increased, maybe to 10. I think that's a reasonable amount, and maybe some way of making sure that they're not able to collaborate with each other whilst watching the show, that sort of thing. But again, I don't really know how possible that is to do. I can imagine that it's quite a big undertaking to get everyone together and control it all and that sort of thing. But yeah, just going forward to next year, I hope there's less drama, I suppose, around the jury results and that sort of thing. So that's number 8 on my list. Number 9 on my list is the continued mainstream success of the songs and artists taking part in Eurovision. So obviously in 2019 we had Duncan Lawrence winning, and then he did get success in America, although that was more based on TikTok, I understand, sort of promoting the song, and then in America it got sort of promotion, and then he sort of got success that way. But I think last year with Måneskin we saw the real first instance, probably since ABBA in the 70s, of someone getting truly famous off the back of Eurovision. I know Celine Dion as well in the 80s, but I think her success wasn't really Eurovision related. I think she probably would have got the success whether she took part in Eurovision or not. But yeah, with Måneskin, we definitely saw that success came through, and I think we're seeing it again this year. Again, I'm going to go back to Sam Ryder and Chanel, because they're the ones that sort of I'm the most aware of. Definitely coming from the UK with Sam and the all the change of perception that Eurovision is having in this country, and the promotion and chances that are being offered to him. And I think in Spain with Chanel it's very similar there. So I'd really like to see the continued success in the mainstream of artists and songs taking part in Eurovision, and just sort of making people know that you can become a big international star through taking through Eurovision. So I'd like to see that continue into next year. And the last of my 10 fins, and this is just a very general, my hope for an entertaining show with great songs, no technical itches or problems or issues or anything like that. Just a fun show with lots of great songs and performers. And yeah, I think that's what we'd all like to see. It'd be great if we could have no dramas going on. I feel like for the last few years, there's always been sort of underlying drama or issues or stuff going on. And I feel like I really hope that next year is just really fun and just, you know, just enjoyable show to watch and listen to and see. Obviously hopefully for as many great songs as possible. I know a lot of people for this year 2022 weren't too keen on the songs to begin with, but I think a lot of them grew on them. I was always pretty happy with the songs. A lot of my national final winners won their selection, so I was always a big fan of the majority of the songs from the start, and obviously hoping that continues for next year as well, although I suspect I won't be quite as lucky with the national final winners next year as I was this year, but hoping so. And yeah, just really hoping for a great, fun, high quality show, 2 semi-finals and final obviously. And yeah, that is my last of my 10 things I'd like to see for Eurovision next year. So there we have it. Those are my 10 things that I have as wishes for Eurovision 2023. I'm sure I'll be thinking of plenty more, you know, in the days, weeks and months forward. But those are just the ones that came to mind straight away. But I'd be interested to hear what you've got to say. So please let me know down below whether you agree with any of my 10 things that I've said. Are there any other things that you'd like to see for Eurovision next year, which we maybe didn't get this year or in recent years? So please let me know that all down in the comments below. Please click the like button if you enjoyed the video. It means a lot to me when people do that. And also subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and hit the notification bell to be informed when they are released. We're starting to get little bits of information coming through about 2023 now, and every time we do get information I'll be doing as many videos as I can about that. Also during this off season I've got lots of plans for looking back over previous Eurovisions, so please do subscribe and hit the notification bell if you're interested in learning more about the history of the contest. And yeah, hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and until the next video, bye bye.